Welcome to our formal City Council meeting. You've come on a special night. A little later, we will be holding second reading on the city's FY 2024-25 budget, and while on its surface, this may seem like a box to be checked or a task to be crossed off, the significance of this process cannot be overstated, as it is the policy document that directly guides the future trajectory and well-being of this community. In 2019, at their annual retreat, City Council established 6 focus areas for the city's upcoming fiscal year. The focus areas included infrastructure, neighborhoods, public safety, affordable housing, economic development, and transportation. And the city began strategically directing funding toward those high priority areas in the budget. While those focus areas have been refined somewhat over the past few years, the city's budget is a roadmap that guides our actions and investments, allocating resources to essential services, infrastructure projects, and community programs that shape the quality of life for our residents. Every line item, every dollar spent, reflects our priorities, values, and aspirations for the future. It is the most important policy document that a city manager puts forth annually. For this reason, I want to take the opportunity tonight to share the state of the city. As we all know, the past several years, Greenville has experienced a whirlwind of activity, growth, and development. Accolades for our community have continued to pour in, and curious visitors and soon-to-be locals have followed suit. With so much going on, it can be difficult to stop and take stock of where we are. As I stand here, I'm struck by how quickly the past 11 months as your city manager have passed, and all that we've been able to accomplish together in this short amount of time. We have much to be proud of, and there are so many people who have helped guide this organization to the enviable position we are in today. All of our accomplishments can be attributed to the visionary leadership of our elected officials, the dedication of our city staff, and our strong community partnerships. As city manager, I had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the passion and commitment that you, our city council members, bring to your roles, and I am inspired continually by your tireless efforts to serve the best interests of our community. Your willingness to engage with residents, listen to their concerns, and seek innovative solutions to complex challenges has been instrumental in driving change and progress, and has inspired confidence and unity among our community members, and has fostered a sense of trust and collaboration that is essential for progress and opportunity. Your willingness to collaborate, cooperate, and work together toward common goals has enabled us to achieve remarkable successes and milestones. And your advocacy for your priorities, such as affordable housing, exemplifies your passionate approach to leadership. Additionally, your prudent fiscal management, responsible governance, and transparent decision-making have strengthened our city's financial stability and credibility. In addition to our strong city council, the City of Greenville also has a long history of forging community partnerships and is committed to working with our partners to leverage time, talent, and every available resource. Together, the city and our community partners have been able to realize Greenville's potential and capitalize on opportunities to go beyond the status quo. I want to take this opportunity tonight to thank our numerous partners and partner organizations. Thank you so very much, and they are many, and I will not list them for the sake of time. In recent years, South Carolina has experienced a remarkable surge in population and economic growth, outpacing the nation, and attracting attention from all corners of the country. In 2023, South Carolina was the fastest growing state in the United States, and much of that growth has occurred right here in the upstate. Growth-related issues such as infrastructure strain, traffic congestion, land use, and housing affordability transcend municipal boundaries. Addressing these growth-related issues requires proactive planning, collaboration, and a holistic approach. I want to thank and acknowledge our friends and colleagues from the county and our sister Greenville County municipalities and applaud them for the great work they are doing. Collaboration among our organizations is essential for maximizing resources, addressing shared challenges effectively, and promoting the overall well-being and prosperity of all of our citizens, and we are grateful for this growth in collaboration and for those partnerships. Greenville is the economic and cultural center of the upstate. Included on countless top 10 lists, Greenville is a safe, vibrant, welcoming community with amenities rarely found in a community of this size. Our mild climate and abundance of natural beauty draw residents and visitors alike, as well as talent and businesses seeking an attractive and quality place to live and work. Our award-winning downtown sets us apart from other communities, and our plentiful public spaces provide endless opportunities for outdoor activities. We offer a thriving arts, entertainment, and cultural scene, as we saw recently with Artisphere, which was recently named the best art festival in the United States by USA Today, unique dining and shopping options, and year-round events for residents and visitors of all ages. While Greenville has developed into a world-class city, we have retained our unique identity and are dedicated to protecting and preserving those qualities that have earned us so many accolades and make us who we are today. So, who are we? This is the question we posed to the community when we began the planning process for Greenville 2040, the city's comprehensive plan, which you all adopted unanimously in 2021. Rooted in extensive community engagement and feedback, this visionary and award-winning plan outlines our collective aspirations for the next 2 decades and reflects our shared commitment to shaping a city and a future that benefits all residents. During that process, the community told us that in 2040, they want Greenville to be a place where decisions reflect our values are put into practice through the application of our planning principles, and we grow in a manner that respects and builds from our assets while helping us achieve significant progress on our priorities. Essentially, Greenville 2040's highest priority is to positively impact the most important precondition for sustained vitality in the 21st century, quality of life. Simply put, our primary focus every day is to positively impact the quality of life for all Greenvillians. This statement guides all our decisions and serves as the theme of our State of the City. Through Greenville 2040, 4 core values were established to reflect the priorities of the community and serve as a compass for decision-making and policy development. First, we are committed to being an enterprising community. We will take risks, have initiative, and chart our own course. The decisions we make today and in the future shall reflect that we are willing to lead by example and confront our challenges with a spirit of inventiveness and proactivity. Greenville has earned a reputation for its vision and innovation, whether it's seeking creative funding strategies in the Neighborhood Improvement Bond, transforming the city's economic development department into a nonprofit corporation, or creating pilot programs to improve our ability to fund our priorities, such as affordable housing and open space. We continue to demonstrate our willingness to find innovative ways to tackle the challenges we face. Second, we are committed to being a resourceful community. We believe that the community succeeds when we strive to make the most of our greatest strengths and assets, from human capital to natural assets to our history and heritage. In 2023, the city successfully garnered $20 million in state funding to assist with major infrastructure and safety projects, such as the Cultural Corridor, which will transform the section of College and Buncombe Street from Main Street to Heritage Green, from a thoroughfare to an urban street that provides multimodal connectivity, safety, and access. As part of our commitment to preserving and enhancing our existing park and recreation amenities, the city recently completed a $1.3 million renovation of Gower Park, funded in part by a $500,000 grant from the Land and Water Conservation Fund. Additionally, to acknowledge and share the history of the people and the property where Unity Park is located, the city is working with a group of community stakeholders to develop and install educational exhibits at the Prisma Health Welcome Center to help ensure that their stories will be told in their own voices. Third, we are committed to being an inclusive community. The decisions we make must strive to include as many voices and perspectives as possible to ensure outcomes that are more equitable and just. The decisions we make should strongly establish Greenville as an inclusive and welcoming place for all its citizens. Over the past few years, we have made important strides in ensuring that the city provides access, removes barriers, and is inclusive of all community members. In 2023, we hired a chief diversity officer working out of the city manager's office to guide the city's diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. All city departments integrated DEI goals into their work plans, and DEI training has been integrated into our onboarding processes, new employee orientation, and supervisory development program. We have increased our Municipal Equality Index score, which measures a municipality's laws and policies to examine how inclusive cities are of LGBTQ+ people, by 12 points, making us one of the highest ranked cities in the Human Rights Campaign's review of municipalities in South Carolina. We partnered with the Barbara Stone Foundation's CAN initiative to develop Access Greenville, an interactive web-based map and database which provides information about the accessibility of downtown restaurants, parking options, and routes from city-owned parking garages to participating restaurants. Our work to make our community accessible and inclusive garnered us the State of South Carolina Department of Disabilities and Special Needs Silver Palmetto Award in February. The Silver Palmetto Award recognizes municipal governments that make the lives of people with disabilities a priority. The city of Greenville was the only city to receive that award this year. And later this year, we will be constructing the city's first inclusive playground in Cleveland Park. We strive to communicate openly and effectively with the community and provide all citizens with opportunities to make meaningful contributions to decision-making, including offering monthly project preview meetings, which give the public a chance to learn about development projects before they are submitted to the city, and to be considered by our planning boards, holding community meetings in neighborhoods where changes are being proposed, and utilizing a variety of communication tools to share information and make it more convenient for residents to connect with us. We have no restrictions on public comment in city council meetings other than a time frame. Fourth, we are committed to being a courageous community. Our community has demonstrated an ability to make bold decisions that may have been difficult in the moment, but that put the community in a position to succeed well into the future. We must consistently demonstrate such courage going forward and truly commit ourselves to issues we know are important. As a first-time, untested city manager, I'm a good example of the city's willingness to make bold decisions. As an urban planner, I can also confirm that rezoning the entire community, which we did in 2023, was exceptionally courageous and certainly not something that most cities would be willing or able to undertake. In addition to its reputation for innovation, the city is also known for its willingness and success in undertaking public-private partnerships to ensure that our built environment offers access to all Greenvillians. In the past year, we have approved 3 public-private partnerships that impact our community differently: a regional headquarters project, a housing project on a 25-year vacant site, and a project that supports expansion of minority and women-owned entrepreneurs. One of the most exciting challenges we're currently facing is reimagining what the future of City Hall looks like for our downtown and our citizens, and we look forward to sharing more about that soon. Spoiler alert, but not tonight. Implementation of a comprehensive plan like Greenville 2040 is not accomplished by passing 1 or 2 ordinances, and it will not be achieved by completing a project list. Rather, implementation is a commitment to a process by which the values, principles, and priorities embedded in the plan are actively considered and discussed whenever decisions are made. Phase 1 of Greenville 2040 included a must-do list of 6 essential tasks that were critical to keeping the implementation of the plan on track. So how did we do? First, Greenville 2040 recommended creation of a consistency policy. This policy is a commitment made by City Council to evaluate the degree to which decisions are in accord with the comprehensive plan. You all did this in March 2021. We are unaware of another community in South Carolina holding themselves accountable in this fashion. Second, the complexity of Greenville 2040's implementation task called for a coordinator who is accountable for keeping Greenville 2040 as the basis for our decisions. Following the adoption of Greenville 2040, we redesigned the city's planning department, and the long-range planning division, led by Michael Frickson, oversees implementation of Greenville 2040. The third required task was the creation of an economic development strategy that speaks to the vision for growth in Greenville 2040 and will guide the city's actions with respect to Greenville's economy. In 2022, the city created its economic development strategic plan, identifying key opportunities for partnerships, and recommending strategies to foster balanced growth. In late 2023, we created the Greenville City Economic Development Corporation to implement the plan. Fourth, Greenville 2040 spoke to the need for an overhaul of the city's land management regulations, or zoning code, as some may know it, as the most critical step to take on the path toward implementation of the node and corridor growth framework. Incorporation of zoning-based incentives for affordable housing and form-based characteristics to advance open space and transportation goals made this task a critical step for all Greenville 2040 priorities. In 2021, the city embarked on the bold initiative to create the new development code. Building on the guiding principles of Greenville 2040, the new development code represents a fundamental shift in the way Greenville approaches planning and development. As with Greenville 2040, development of the Greenville Development Code involved extensive public engagement, and this collaborative approach resulted in a code that replaces outdated and piecemeal regulations with a modern, comprehensive framework that streamlines the development process and ensures consistency and clarity in decision-making. The new code, which prioritizes affordable housing, open space, and multimodal transportation, provides a unified set of standards and guidelines for developers, property owners, and city officials, and reflects the values, priorities, and aspirations of our community. The development code went into effect in July 2023 and will remain a living, breathing document. The code will be reviewed annually to ensure that it continues to align with our community's changing needs and priorities, and that it remains flexible enough to allow the city to respond and adapt to new challenges and opportunities. There are very few cities in this country that could collaborate on the scale that we did as a community, and adoption of the new code is an achievement that we should all be proud of. We listened, we engaged. I believe that when people in 2040 look back on the preceding 20 years, they will determine that the single most impactful thing you all did as a council to positively shape the lives of Greenvillians was adopting a new development code. The fifth task in the Phase 1 implementation plan was to identify funding for capital projects recommended by Greenville 2040. As specific capital projects are identified during the course of Greenville 2040's implementation, having a fund established specifically to assist with findings in those projects will be critical to making timely progress. In March 2022, the city created a capital projects program called the Neighborhood Infrastructure Bond to make road improvements, build sidewalks, upgrade transportation management systems, and make park and community center improvements. The NIB represents over $32 million in capital investment to enact the policies set forth in Greenville 2040. The final task was to develop a detailed framework that outlined the initial criteria for prioritizing vacant land for acquisition in areas outside of designated nodes. The city conducted a vacant land preservation study in 2022 to identify properties from among the 2,700 acres of undeveloped land in the city that were worth preserving for park use, environmental preservation, or future multi-use transit connections, or reserving for affordable housing. As part of that study, the city established criteria and a scoring matrix for evaluating vacant parcels and created a mapping tool to easily locate vacant lands and priority parcels. Every item on Greenville 2040's Phase 1 priority checklist has been accomplished by you, its council. I think that they deserve a round of applause. In addition to defining our community's core values through Greenville 2040, we also identified what the community considered Greenville's most pressing issues, the big things that we had to get right in the coming years. The community was clear that they did not want growth to occur at the expense of quality of life. Instead, they wanted us to make significant progress on several important fronts, especially on 3 priority issues: open space and the environment, transportation and mobility, and affordable housing opportunities. Those issues helped shape and refine Council's previous focus areas, and today, City Council has 5 budgeted funding priorities, which you will see reflected in our budget. 3 include the priorities of Greenville 2040, which I will discuss in more depth in a moment, as well as public safety and engagement and economic development. Public safety and engagement. We are committed to providing superior emergency services to residents and businesses that meet the highest professional standards. We conduct city business with transparency and ensure diversity and citizen participation, so voices of all residents are heard. It may surprise you that public safety did not emerge as one of the top 3 priorities in Greenville 2040. But while Greenville has grown, crime has not. 2023 was the second lowest crime year in the past 10 years, following 2022, and crime has fallen 6% over the past 10 years. The police department had a 72% violent crime clearance rate, which is more than double the national average of 33%. In quarter 1 of this year, our year-to-date crime data is down 35% from the same time of the prior year. As Greenville grows and we add both citizens and land area, our city continues to be a safe and stable community. Our fire department is one of only 309 agencies worldwide, not in the U.S., but worldwide, to achieve internationally accredited agency status with the Commission on Fire Accreditation International and the Center for Public Safety Excellence. Of those, our fire department is one of only 117 agencies worldwide to hold both a Class 1 ISO rating and international accreditation. That's fine. Now y'all are starting to get a hang of it. I like a lot of clapping and whooping. We're good. Now we're starting to feel that energy. All right. That's right. See, that's good. To support our public safety departments, the city's new public safety campus, located on Halton Road, is being renovated. And when it opens later this year, it will house the police department, fire department administration, and municipal court, all of which are currently located in aging, outdated, and cramped facilities. We also have plans to replace the fire station on Stone Avenue with the construction of a new station on Sunflower Street. Public safety accounts for the highest percentage of spending in the city's budget, and the superior service provided by our police and fire departments is one of the most compelling benefits of living in the city of Greenville. The fact that public safety did not rank among the top issues that the community was concerned about during Greenville 2040 shows the community's confidence in our public safety departments. Economic development. In 2023, the city took the monumental step of creating a new economic development arm with its own board of directors and the ability to raise private funding, much like other economic development organizations around the country. The new nonprofit, called the Greenville City Economic Development Corporation, is charged with implementing the recommendations in the city's economic development strategic plan and will work collaboratively with the city's economic development partners, such as the Greenville Area Development Corporation, Upstate Alliance, the Greenville Chamber, and the South Carolina Department of Commerce. The board is comprised of citizens from a diverse mix of economic development sectors, and the corporation's new CEO, Sam Kondoris, is now on board and is already intertwined with our efforts. 2 weeks ago, he and our communications director hosted The Economist to highlight our entrepreneurial space right here in Greenville. Public-private partnerships helped shape Greenville's economy and are part of our history of development. As I mentioned earlier, we are continuing that legacy of PPPs. One longstanding PPP we continue to foster is our relationship with the Greenville Drive. A couple of years ago, we created Field Street pedestrian areas as a PPP, and this year, we completed the Plaza area on Augusta Street. We also have partnered with the Drive on a successful parking and transportation plan for the current baseball season. We also believe annexation is an economic development strategy. In 2023, we approved 22 annexations, adding 243 acres. In 2024, 272 acres have been annexed. The Cherrydale and Chanticleer Golf Course annexations were more acreage combined than all annexations in 2023. Over the past several years, our city limits have grown from 28 square miles to 30.95 square miles. And are we going to get over 31 tonight, Austin? We're close. Mm-hmm. We're close. And our permit numbers continue to grow, which attracts companies seeking a thriving community that offers a diverse mix of uses and housing. Last year, our staff reviewed a record number of permits and issued a record number of permits in 2022, followed by 2023. Approximately 5,000 applications and close to 7,000 permits issued annually. And contrary to the doom loop, downtowns across the country remain resilient in these times. And there is no better example of such resilience than our downtown. Information shared with us earlier this year shows the strength of our retail market in the downtown core. Greenville 2040 process yielded a consistent message from the beginning about the community's commitment to achieve specific outcomes around the 3 issues they deemed most important: open space in the environment, mobility and transportation, and affordable housing opportunities. These priority issues are deeply interrelated with each other and include goals that the city has committed to meeting. We are committed to protecting our environment, green space, and natural resources with a focus on clean energy, river quality and restoration, upkeep of our zoo, parks and trail system, and the preservation and growth of our tree canopy. Greenville 2040 established a goal to preserve as much as 35% of Greenville's remaining vacant land as open space or parkland to bolster quality of life and protect environmental assets. After public safety, parks, recreation, and tourism, and public works, which are responsible for the maintenance and protection of our natural resources, represent the highest percentages of spending in the city's budget. Under this council's leadership, we have increased the staffing in neighborhood parks as well as in Cleveland Park to help maintain 2 of the city's greatest environmental assets, its largest park and the Reedy River. Our FY25 budget will add another 5 staff members to Parks, Recreation, and Tourism and 2 staff members to Public Works to ensure our maintenance and beautification efforts continue at the level of service our community expects. We are also adding 2 police officers to our neighborhood engagement team specialized unit who will serve as park police. In the past 2 years, the city has spent a total of $878,000 and purchased nearly 19 acres of vacant land to preserve as open space. We just purchased 12 acres last month for preservation, and we will continue to look for opportunities to buy land to preserve. Additionally, as open space should be a primary consideration of all developments, Greenville 2040 provided the framework for the development of an open space bonus available to all new development in the city. In 2023, we planted and distributed more than 2,000 trees through our free giveaway events to help increase the tree canopy in both public spaces and our residential areas. So far this year, the city has planted 382 trees and given away 728 trees. We are also concentrating on adding pollinator plants throughout our park system as part of our pledge to help save the monarch butterfly. And one of our more popular initiatives for the community this year is deploying a goat herd to remove invasive species in our neighborhood parks. Additionally, the FY25 budget includes funding for the city's first ever Parks and Recreation Strategic Plan. I knew I'd get a woo out of Tara at some point. Mobility and transportation. We commit to increasing mobility through smart traffic planning, roadway design, expanded public transportation service, and the maintenance and enhancement of existing street, sidewalk, bike lane, and trail networks. With over 750,000 Swamp Rabbit Trail users annually. Think about that, 750,000, 10 times the size of the city's population using the Swamp Rabbit Trail annually. The city continues its focus on finding opportunities for expansion of the trail and increasing connectivity from our neighborhoods to the trail. With our carryover and the proposed FY 2024-25 budget allocation, we have more than $8 million scheduled for trail funding. In 2023, we completed the paperclip route, which connects Cleveland Park to Lawrence Road, and you invested over $5 million in pedestrian bridges over Lawrence and Haywood Roads as part of the extension of the Swamp Rabbit Trail Green Line. Earlier this year, we celebrated the opening of the Legacy Park Swamp Rabbit Trail Connector, which was years in the making and would not have been possible without a public-private partnership. We are currently working to provide safe connections to the trail from the Nicholtown and Gower neighborhoods. As part of our efforts to promote transportation options and enhance Greenville's public transit system, this year's budget includes increased funding for GreenLink to help expand select routes to provide 30-minute service. In June, GreenLink will open its new maintenance facility, which is part of the long-term plan to add more buses and more operators. That's awesome. I'm probably never going to hear that again. That was great, James. Also, our engineering team is hard at work. The city has almost 100 engineering projects currently in progress, many of which focus on increasing pedestrian and bike safety on our most used corridors, such as Augusta, Wade Hampton, Stone Avenue, and Pendleton Street. We are currently underway with construction of Phase 1 of the Pedestrian Safety Action Plan, which involves improving ADA ramps, high-visibility crosswalks, pavement markings, sidewalk repair, and signage along 3 corridors and in 10 school zones, with several capital improvement projects to address both vehicular and pedestrian safety along the roads. Some of the key projects include the Augusta Street Pedestrian Hybrid Beacon, which is a new pedestrian signal at Augusta Street and Field Street to create a safe crosswalk connection to Ford Field. Stone Avenue Pedestrian Hybrid Beacon, new pedestrian signal at Stone Ave and Wilton Street to improve a crosswalk within a school zone. Augusta Street Streetscape Phase 2, traffic and pedestrian improvements along a 2-mile section of Augusta from Church Street to Malden Road. Old Augusta road safety improvements, sidewalk, high visibility crosswalks, and speed tables on Old Augusta Road between Potomac Ave and Blythe. Yay! Wade Hampton Boulevard, traffic and multimodal pedestrian improvements on a 1.7-mile section of Wade Hampton Boulevard between Church Street and North Pleasantburg. Stone Avenue safety improvements, traffic and pedestrian improvements along Stone Avenue from Pete Hollis Boulevard to I-385. Cultural Corridor, pedestrian streetscape enhancements on College Avenue from Main Street to Heritage Green. Moreover, we are coordinating with SCDOT on several roadway safety audits. These studies evaluate vehicular and pedestrian safety strategies, and we are currently focused on Rutherford and Poinsett Highway, River Street, Dunbar Street, and Wade Hampton Boulevard. Additionally, 2 weeks ago, I signed expansion plans for the B-Cycle program to provide relief for the system's busiest location at Unity Park. The plan, which was developed by our city staff, includes 23 new bikes and docks. And earlier this year, I signed an e-bike policy for our employees, specifically to allow for our PRT team to use bikes to travel from location to location without having to use a vehicle.
Guess what?
And last but most importantly, the one y'all have all been waiting for, affordable housing. Oh boy, here we go. Affordable housing is a cornerstone of our vision for Greenville's future. It really is. And it remains the primary concern for all of us. Greenville 2040 established a goal to make at least 10% of all new housing in Greenville income restricted to preserve access to high-quality affordable housing. While the city has a decades-long history of working with our community partners to build new affordable housing and preserve our existing affordable housing inventory, the 2016 housing study, Balancing Prosperity and Housing Affordability in Greenville, was a pivotal moment that shed light on the pressing challenges facing the city's housing landscape. Armed with the knowledge gleaned from the housing study, city leaders and stakeholders embarked on a multifaceted approach to address Greenville's affordable housing crisis, including creating the Greenville Housing Fund, which is responsible for working with the city and all our key partners to increase and preserve the supply of a variety of safe, accessible, high-quality, affordable housing choices for the citizens of Greenville County. Since 2019, more than 1,528 affordable housing units have been constructed. There are more than 400 units. Yes, that's right. There are more than 400 units that have been preserved, and more than 800 units are in the pipeline, either in planning, permitting, or construction. We just celebrated the Greenville Housing Fund's $5.5 million investment to preserve existing affordable housing units at Century Plaza 10 days ago. Since the city doesn't build houses, not yet anyways, there's always next year, we must employ a variety of tools to support our housing partners and further our affordable housing goals. To begin, the city provides $2.5 million per year to the Greenville Housing Fund. That's just to the housing fund. Additionally, thanks to an ongoing contribution agreement approved by City Council in 2023, Truist Bank approved a $12 million loan, which is the first of a total allocation of $30 million to the Greenville Housing Fund to accelerate affordable housing projects and establish a reserve fund. The city has funded the Greenville Housing Fund with more than $17 million in cash and land donations alone. We also provide land to be used for the development of affordable housing. To date, we have donated a total of 16.7 acres to our partners such as United Housing Connections, Homes of Hope, Genesis Homes, and Habitat for Humanity. The estimated value of that land is approximately $11.3 million. And in August, we renewed a lease of $1 a year at the city's Green Avenue multi-service building and the adjacent land, so our partners at Rebuild Upstate can deploy their resources on preserving houses and not on renting homes or renting offices. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other key strategies include adding a bonus height incentive in the new development code for developers whose project includes at least 10% of the units at 60% of the area median income, or 15% of the units at 80% of the area median income for affordable housing. Waiving permit-related fees for affordable housing projects, such as the Riley at Overbrook and Gateway at the Green. Offering fee in lieu of options for developers, whereby the fees go directly to support affordable housing initiatives. Providing $1.45 million in grant funding through our Community Development Division. And that's been since 2020 for affordable housing projects. Their annual allocation also goes to support other things, so we broke it down based on the total. The city also received a Section 108 housing and urban development loan for over $3.5 million to invest in infrastructure for affordable housing in the city's special emphasis neighborhoods. A new funding strategy the city is actively pursuing is the use of accommodations tax money. Act 57, which was signed by Governor McMaster last year, allows municipalities to use a percentage of those funds toward the development of workforce housing. We are currently one of 5 cities out of 271 cities in the state of South Carolina that are pursuing this strategy, one of 5. The city recently deployed $900,000 of those funds to purchase property near Unity Park to preserve for the development of workforce housing. And the city has engaged a local housing expert to assist staff with the development of a housing impact analysis, which must be in alignment with Greenville 2040 to help us understand what gaps we can help fill using those funds. In addition to our affordable housing efforts, The city is also providing support for our community partners who are working to address the issue of homelessness in our community. Last year, over $260,000 was deployed for a homeless outreach team to assist with connecting individuals experiencing homelessness to resources. Additional funding is included in this year's budget for the first time to support individuals experiencing homelessness and our service provider partners. We actually have it called out as a line item in this year's budget.
Good story.
For us, it is about being creative and identifying ways that we can deploy alternative forms of revenue for affordable housing. In FY25, we are proposing the following: $299,732,000 for our home program, $450,400 in our HOPWA program, and $704,000 in our CDBG program, $598,000 in our PHILO pilot project that you all approved under the Alston Park pilot project program. We have a foregone revenue of $2,696 that's on taxes related to some of our land donations. We have $751,181 in the budget for affordable housing and homeless support initiatives, $2.5 million to the Greenville Housing Fund. We are anticipating waiving fees of upwards of $300,000 for building permits related to affordable housing projects. We're planning to use 20% of our tree fund towards affordable housing, which is over $1.2 million right now, so we have it as a conservative estimate of $200,000. We have $1,043,340,000 of our local aid tax for budget in the budget for workforce housing. We have $375,000 in the budget for workforce housing. We have another $150,000 in our police department's budget to support United Housing Connections. And we have land acquisition of the fair market value of properties that we've recently purchased, including the property on Washington Street and the property on Dunbar Street that we paid $3.2 million for, that we will donate this year. Our fair market value of land to be donated is over $3 million, $17,826 that we will donate for affordable housing. Through community development, we are anticipating $1.45 million.
Excuse me, Shannon.
Yes, sir.
You didn't give the grand total.
Oh, yes, sir. Are you ready? Where's the drum roll?
This is the
Now, there might be some other dollars later, so, but right now, we're at $10,392,444.
All right.
Through community development, we are anticipating $1.44 million. The land donation dollars include the property in West Washington Street, the Dunbar parcel that has been committed to be used for affordable housing, and we took only the FMV of that, of what we can actually use, we didn't include the whole parcel where the road is going, and the value of the land we still have to donate to our affordable housing partners. These dollars are conservative, and hear me when I say that. We took a very conservative estimate because they do not contemplate our other land that we have yet to donate to decide what we want to do with, including our Green Plaza site, or our Mayberry Street sales. Money that may come from other partners, such as the GLDC that gifted the Greenville Housing Fund $200,000 last year. And additionally, as projects present themselves, there's the potential of additional dollars being used from funds such as our parking fund. These numbers do not include other potential land purchases or more funds from grants, fees, etc. For example, we may end up with additional tax dollars to use. And we know that we're every day looking for land to buy for affordable housing. This is our conservative estimate, but at the end of the year, we will know more. For the first time, our team has compiled a running list of all affordable housing expenditures and values that allows us to have a better handle on our overall city investment. Thank you, Patricia. Really got it. According to the American Planning Association, I'm sorry, I'm a planner, I had to quote them at least once. Developers are anticipating a major drought in affordable housing production by 2025. And that's primarily due to soaring costs of materials and rising interest rates. For those of us on the front lines of this issue every day, money is not the only answer. Partnership, creativity, mindfulness, and accountability are required. We each must have a personal stake in the issue. And we should all reflect on what we personally are doing for affordable housing. There isn't a day that goes by that City Council or the City Manager's Office or the city staff are not doing something to advance support for affordable housing. When a permit needs to be expedited, we do it. When a fee needs to be waived, we do it. When a last-minute inspection is required, we do it. When a support letter is needed for state housing, we do it. When connections to resources are needed, we create a community resource fair. We do it. When site plans need our professional design help, we do it. When legislation is on the table for anything related to affordable housing, we go to Columbia. We do it. When supporting information is needed for low-income housing tax credit projects, we do it. When a partner has a funding gap, we step up. We do it. When a neighborhood meeting is needed, we go, and sometimes we host. We do it. Whatever issues arise, we are there. Advancing affordable housing construction is not for the faint of heart. The single issue that gives me the most joy is seeing projects that almost died succeed. Without a doubt, there were times when both the Riley at Overbrook and Gateway at the Green, projects for individuals and families under 60% AMI that broke ground in late 2023 and early 24, were not going to make it. But when our partners needed us, we were there. Every so often, people send me handwritten notes. And if y'all haven't done that, you should try it. It's very nice. I save every one. I save every one. I frame them and put them in my office. From one I received last fall. Shannon, thank you for the plan and permit issuance your team did on that project for our project last month. This is for Betty. 20 years in construction and development, and I've never had a municipality step up like you all did. When this development goes forward, it will be a result of your staff making that possible. Thank you. See, Tamika, I get upset a little bit too when I talk about people I care about. Yep. Money alone cannot and will not fix affordable housing. Strategies include using faith-based organizations' land for affordable housing, practicing gentle density, and reducing parking minimums, all of which we are now doing. We adopted an accessory dwelling ordinance, and there are 13 in process across the city. We can waive fees and expedite permits. We're doing it, and we are committed to doing more. For example, we continue to look for alternate funding solutions. I have asked staff to see what our options are for diverting a percentage of additional city permit fees to affordable housing. It takes teamwork, it takes commitment, it takes passion, it takes dedication. It's remembering during the very tough times our values to be resourceful, enterprising, inclusive, and courageous. We have accomplished a great deal over our last year together. There are quite a few items, so for the sake of time, I won't read these, but I'm going to make y'all read them. But please take a moment to look at some of the accomplishments of the past year. where it gets fun. This is where it gets fun, I think, I hope. All right. So what is next for us, and what is our call to action? To answer this, we turn to Greenville 2040 in the second implementation phase. First, we must evaluate the performance of the new development code and its effectiveness. When the new development code was adopted in July of 2023, we committed to reviewing it every 6 months for the first year and annually after that. We have completed our first 6-month review, and we will soon begin the process for the second 6-month review. I'm really proud of us for sticking to that commitment. In 2020, complete and begin implementation of the first node plans. In 2023, City Council adopted the Airport District Planning Study, which provides a 15-year comprehensive strategy for the area surrounding the downtown airport, including the Greenville Convention Center that is bordered by I-385, Haywood Road, Lawrence Road, and Pleasant Bird Drive. Building upon the recommendations of the study, an approximately 10-acre property adjacent to the Swamp Rabbit Trail Green Line extension will become a new wheel park that will include both a skate park and a paved pump track. Additionally, as part of the project, a 4.5-mile loop trail will be constructed along the edge of the downtown airport. Money to begin both projects is included in this year's budget. Third, select nodes for subsequent rounds of small area planning and implementation. Greenville 2040 identifies 2 nodes in West Greenville, and I'm excited to share that as part of our FY25 work plan, the city's planning staff will begin development of a small area plan for the entirety of West Greenville. At the same time, thanks to our friends at the state of South Carolina, we will begin the design phase to replace the West Greenville Community Center.
All right.
Sure. But with me afterwards. Okay. Continue land acquisition. We have made that commitment, and this year purchased over 16 acres for open space preservation. We need to lean into our ability to employ public-private partnerships to achieve greater preservation. We need to do more. I am challenging our staff to preserve 20 acres this year. We must initiate management of acquired land and include parkland development. While large-scale parks like Cleveland Park and Unity Park are important, we also recognize that access to green spaces within our neighborhoods enhances the overall quality of life for our residents. Our goal is to provide every resident with access to a park, trail, or similar amenity within a half-mile of their home. I'm happy to say that we will soon be a little closer to attaining that goal with the creation of new parks on existing vacant city parcels, thereby formally dedicating this land as permanent park space. These parcels are in the Nicholtown and Sherwood Forest neighborhoods. I want to do one. Congratulations, PR team. It is critical to, number 6, it is critical to ensure that tree preservation and replenishment efforts consistently reach targeted goals to plant 1,000 plus trees every year.
Amen.
Thanks to the great work of our Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Department under the guidance of Tara Aker and Stacy Schaefer, we planted and gave away more than 2,000 trees last year. Additionally, as part of the new development code, we updated our tree ordinance to allow 20% of the funds that we collect through our fee in lieu of program to be used to support affordable housing developments. So 20% of our tree fund. We must begin development of small area plans for each emerging node and the corridors that connect them. County Square is also one of the nodes identified in Greenville 2040, and we are currently in the process of developing a master plan for the adjacent Haney Serene neighborhood. A large percentage of Haney Serene land is vacant, and it is imperative that we act now, working in concert with the residents who live there to preserve the character of this neighborhood. With the $3.2 million purchase of land for the Dunbar Street connection almost completed, what opportunities lie ahead for us, the city, to be in lockstep with the neighborhood on the future development of this area. The master plan will require additional investment from the city, and we should be ready to take action for implementation following its adoption later this year. We also need to consider the infrastructure challenges in Greenline Spartanburg and how we will respond and invest in the recommendations of that small area plan once it is completed late this fall.
Amen.
Equally important in our update of the city's zoning code was the design of city streets. In conjunction with the new development code, the city also updated its engineering design and specifications manual, which establishes minimum standards and provides guidance for the design and construction of land development projects within the city. Following the success of our airport small area plan, this year's corridor focus will be Pleasantburg Drive. Okay, we're in the home stretch. Everybody's, just a couple more things. There are a few big projects on the horizon that I want to mention. As we all know, our downtown is expanding, and the need to provide additional parking options in the West End became more pressing with the loss of the County Square office lot, surface lot. This is a high-priority project, and we are continuing to explore multiple options, including construction of a new parking facility in the West End. Also, we are beginning the process of reimagining our city hall, which, as you can see, hasn't changed much since the 70s. This next year, we have the opportunity to improve our work environment for our employees and change the way this building interacts with the spaces around us. Our goal is to make City Hall more inviting for our citizens by increasing the accessibility. And we are excited to finally move forward with a neighborhood design center, something this council first requested in 2021. We want a storefront for planning and design because we believe that competent and thoughtful urban design, architecture, and landscape architecture results in strong and resilient towns. Our goal is to proactively engage the public in our neighborhoods in the planning, design, and creation of their communities. We want to create an intentional environment to foster collaboration. This year, we will rebuild 2 of our community centers, Southern Side and Viola. We will be adding a 5th recycling center at Rutherford Road and a yard waste burner to keep costs under control. And we have a busy summer ahead. We will start with our upcoming Greenville Jazz Fest, expanded now to a 2-day event.
All right.
We will be opening our new parks maintenance facility at Unity Park and our Halton Road Public Safety Campus. The Greenlink Maintenance Facility opens, and we will break ground for the Unity Park Honor Tower on June 11th. We will also celebrate the 20th anniversary of Falls Park. Our zoo accreditation will occur this summer, and following passage of this year's budget, sustainability is moving to the city manager's office.
All right.
As I mentioned earlier, this budget is a focus on people and positively impacting all Greenvillians. Protecting the health, safety, and welfare of our community is our primary charge. And we know that parks and open spaces can improve physical and mental well-being. So we are going on the trail. I'm excited to announce that beginning this fall, our PRT director will join me in launching our community park walks. This initiative will provide a unique opportunity for us to engage with the community outdoors in a fun, informal way to talk with and learn from each other. We will also be taking on new engineering projects, working on the Verde Bridge to CUI Car, fully funding InStep, banking money for Wade Hampton and Augusta Street improvements, and moving from design on East North Street to implementation. So with all of this going on, how do you and our residents keep up with what we're doing? The city has been regionally recognized as an innovator in municipal government outreach and engagement. Our communications department is part newsroom, part marketing agency. We have 3 reporters and 2 videographers who cover city events and initiatives and present their stories on our social media channels for citizens to get their information from the experts and straight from the source. We also have an award-winning Week in Review video that has been expanded to a community newsletter available in English and Spanish, which you can sign up to receive by text each week. Our communications team has more followers on social media than the cities of Los Angeles and Philadelphia. If Greenvillians want to know what is happening here at the city, they need to look no further than our own City of Greenville reporting outlets.
All right.
I want to conclude tonight's remarks. You probably thought I was never going to get there. With a thank you to the incredible staff of the City of Greenville.
Amen.
Our team worked hard this year to present a budget that addressed all of your priorities. First, I want to recognize and thank Patricia Dennis, the city's Chief Financial Officer, and Christina Junker, our Budget Administrator, for their exceptional work. We have an award-winning budget team who are outstanding stewards of our public resources. And let's not forget Ms. Karen Crawford, who got us through many, many a time. Thank you very much. It is in part because of them, people like Patricia, Karen, Christina, that our city is in such a strong financial position. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Greenville is the only city in South Carolina, and I've said it once, I'm going to keep saying it, to have a AAA rating from all 3 credit rating agencies. The only city in South Carolina. The city is also a winner of the Government Finance Officers Association's Triple Crown, which recognizes governments that have received GFOA's Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting, Popular Annual Financial Reporting Award, and Distinguished Budget Presentation Award.
Amen.
I wish I had time tonight to share with all of you the accolades for our city staff. Every member of the city's senior leadership team is with me. For the second time, you already know you'd be making a repeat performance. We will be publishing a document on our website soon with all of their departmental accomplishments and wins. For many of us, public service is more than just a job. It's a calling. To the senior leadership team, thank you for your service. You make a difference every day. Over the past 10 months, you've rallied around me as city manager, and I'm honored to serve with you. And while there will always be challenges, there's so much more excitement and opportunity for us right now. What we have right now is very special. City Council, our promise to you is that we will do our best. Senior leadership team, my promise to you is I will do my best. I depend on you, and we, the City Council, residents, visitors, depend on you and your teams. With my deepest appreciation, thank you. I will leave you with this. We must continue to focus on the need for affordable housing. We must continue engaging the community. We must continue to provide a safe community. We must continue to maintain our infrastructure and protect our natural resources. We must continue to provide a variety of transportation options. Together, let's continue to build a Greenville where everyone is welcome. Let's continue to be a city where we are united and even in discourse, find our way to collaboration. Let's continue to be a city that is equitable and inclusive, and where every decision positively impacts the quality of life for all. And like the leaders who came before us, let's continue to look for opportunities to push boundaries, challenge conventions, and redefine what is possible. I hope you will welcome and accept these challenges as motivation and inspiration for the coming year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.